Hi there, this is Zsuzsa Kecsmar, CMO and Co-founder of Antavo.
And I'm Jörn Roegler, the VP of Strategy and Insight at Antavo.
There is a change on the market that we see. Traditional loyalty programs are less and less relevant. I'm talking about these earn and burn style loyalty programs. Meanwhile, it's 77% of customers who are saying that having a loyalty program with a brand helps them to stay loyal. Isn't this a contradiction?
Well, actually, I don't find this to be a contradiction at all. What the statistics show that you just quoted are two facts, really. The first one is loyalty programs are still very, very relevant. Customers want to be recognized for the loyalty that they give to a brand, to a retailer. At the same time, old-style loyalty programs, let's say our parents' loyalty, they don't work anymore. They don't cut it anymore because they haven't responded to the change in market dynamics.
Okay, so what do you think? What is the future? What are the things that make loyalty programs successful?
Well, we're looking at this from a holistic perspective, and we can see 5 ways to keep a loyalty program really relevant in the modern age. And they respond to what I called earlier the market dynamics that have changed. So they respond to changed customer attitudes, they respond to availability in technology, they respond to techniques and things that we've learned from general marketing. So let me focus on those 5 things and explain them one by one. The first one is what I call the incentive dimension. So instead of just incentivizing financial rewards, you want to incentivize also engagement with the brand. So you want to have engagement incentives in the program. What do I mean by that? Traditional earn and burn programs really only incentivize that you spend money with a brand. So every transaction, you accumulate points that you can then use for rewards. That's not how customers define loyalty today. And customers have a lot more touch points with brands, and customers are a lot more loyal in many other ways than by giving money.
Yeah,
for example,
when I talk with my friends, or when I walk into the store, or when I interact with the latest lookbook of this new fashion brand.
Well, absolutely. Brands that we're loyal to, we go out of our way to promote them, to talk about them. We're just happy that they're in our lives, right? So I want to be incentivized and recognized for that loyalty that I give to a brand. So this is an important element to a new modern loyalty program. On the flip side of the incentives for certain actions are the rewards. Again, traditional loyalty rewards have focused very much on the financial dimension. They are very transactional, let's say vouchers, discounts, free products. We know these rewards. And in a way they worked, but consumer attitude has changed. Customers are now much more interested, let's say, in experiences than possessions. Customers choose brands more based on values than on price. Consumers are looking for things that simplify their life. Time has become much more important than money. So the loyalty program should reflect that. So what we're looking for are emotional rewards here. Rewards that are not just money.
Yeah, so for example, when you can be a part of a special group where with people with your interests are accepted, or you can get access to a special event, or you can get access to sweepstakes, so you can get access to a special event.
That's right. Look, loyalty programs face the same difficulty that all of marketing does. There's more noise, you have to work harder to get attention, competitors are emerging here and there, so you got to stay relevant and you got to stay memorable. Now, going to an invite-only money can buy event in a store of a fashion retailer where a new collection is presented is obviously something I will remember and I will talk to people about much more than if I get an email with a 10% discount voucher, because I get that every day from at least 10 brands.
Exactly.
The third element, and that's where we really go into the customer psyche a little bit, is the value focus. What do I mean by value focus? Increasingly, we see a trend that customers make purchase decisions not on a value for money perspective, but on a emotional value or a brand value dimension. The emergence of, say, ethical production, sustainability, fair trade coffee, just to name a few, shows that in real life, not just in surveys, customers make purchasing decisions based on how they align with the values of a brand. So that needs to be seen in the loyalty program as well.
Yeah, for example, if as one of our clients, Simply Be supports body positivity, then they can encourage their customers to upload pictures of themselves and share who they are.
Absolutely. Another example would be if as a brand you want to support your customers in getting healthy. You can reward people for working out. If you're an athleisure brand, give people points or give people rewards for going on a run and doing it consistently. That where you really find that emotional bond. That's
Yeah.
what creates true long-term loyalty.
Another example for the eco-consciousness that you mentioned is that if people bring back their old clothes to your store so you can recycle, that's also something that you can incentivize.
Recycling and sustainability is a big topic, especially in fashion these
It's
days.
everywhere these days.
So these would be, I would say, the three additional elements on how you design and how you structure a program. The things that are visible, really, in terms of rewards, incentives, and in terms of, the brand of the program. There are two things that are very, very powerful and very helpful that can underpin the whole loyalty program by making it just more effective in nudging and changing customer behavior. The first one we call the loyalty mechanics. Loyalty mechanics, I would say, summarizes things that we've learned from behavioral science, from marketing. They're just clever tricks to improve conversion, to improve the performance of a program. I'll give you an example, which is gamification.
Yeah.
Gamification is a concept that becomes more and more widely known. It bases on the customers or on any humans really response to a target, something to achieve, the moment of achieving, the moment also to play and to compete. This is where board games came from, and we can bring these elements into a program.
For example, if we have a leaderboard in a loyalty program, or if simply we have tiers like this bronze, gold, silver tiers, these already involve the elements of gamification.
Absolutely. Making it visible, bringing an element of competitiveness in there, having fun attached to it, that's all going to work and make customers respond and behave and engage.
Yeah, if you think of limitations in time, in space, if you think of promotions that are happening in the next 2 days and not more, these give a sense of urgency to the customers. These all belong to loyalty mechanics.
Correct. Sense of urgency, time limitations. We could talk about just exclusivity. So let's say a limited club where only certain people can enter. We have that. We have fear of missing out. A strong emotional factor that actually led to the emergence of social media. I want to have what others have. Very strong motivator. I could go on and on and on, but there's a number of things that can be applied in the right moment, in the right way, and it will make your loyalty program stronger. But obviously, to do all of this, we need to really understand who it is that we're talking to and who it is that we're engaging with. So data is the lifeblood of the economy, and especially so in loyalty, because relevance and personalization are just key.
So this brings us to the fifth factor that makes loyalty programs successful.
That's right, data science. I would break it down into a number of steps that you really have to do on a data science. First, you need to collect data. Find every touch point that a customer has with your brand, record it. Then you need to connect your data. So you got to bring it all into a single customer view or in a unified customer profile, whatever the term is that you want to use, so that you now understand for every one of your loyalty members, every one of your customers, what exactly are their behaviors, their preferences, their patterns. When you then have that data somewhere, you need to make it work for you. So you got to turn it into some actionable insight. So with the help of artificial intelligence, machine learning, we can create algorithms that pick the most relevant interaction at any given moment and deliver it to the customer.
If you want to say a practical example, this data science could help to give personalized rewards for customers, because for some people, a discount is needed to make the next purchase. But for those customers who are already loyal, we don't need a discount. You would need to give a special experience or just a little nudge, a little excuse to check your store out. So this way you can differentiate between customers, and it will hurt your margin less.
Yeah, it will hurt your margin less, and ultimately we want to drive all our customers up that loyalty ladder, from the one that sometimes comes to buy something to the one who actively goes out and promotes your brand. And for every single step, there's a little different technique and there's a different objective. So by knowing where your customers are, you can adjust your actions. That, as you said, you don't give massive discounts to people that are loyal, but to those people, you give opportunities to share and opportunities to promote your brand.
Thank you so much for explaining all this little onion of actually recognition loyalty. We think these are the 5 things that make loyalty programs successful. I hope that this was useful. You can read more about this topic on the link below, and hope to see you next time too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.